right, we have UConn up on the podium. Huskies advance to Sunday. They will play Northwestern. In a second-round game, we have head coach Dan Hurley. We have grad guard Tristen Newton. We have sophomore center Donovan Clingan. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, then we'll go to questions for the student-athletes, dismiss them, go to questions for Coach. But, Coach, if you want to start.
Yeah, obviously love the start. It's exactly how you want to start a game like this where, you're in March Madness, you know the history of these, number ones or high seeds, and just they took away all hope in that game from them early on with the defense, with the offense, with the relentlessness. So it's a pretty good first performance.
Okay, questions for the student athletes.
Minus the defensive rebound.
No question. Okay, we'll start up here in front. Go ahead.
Tristen, Mori from the Hartford Courant. It looked early in the start that Coach was talking about, like you guys had the lob pass anytime you wanted it. Was that kind of the plan coming in to kind of establish that and then work off that?
Coaches do a great job putting us in positions to make plays for others, and Coach gives me the freedom to make the read, and he gives me a lot of options. So there's either a drift, a lob, or something will be open. Coach told us just play our offense and we'll break down the defense. So that's what we did, and the lob was open early and throughout the whole game. So just read what's going on. We have two great lob finishers in Donovan and Stetson, and just make the read off the screen.
We'll stay here right in front of me, row one, Jaden.
Donovan, Jaden Daly, Daily Dose of Hoops. Last year, playing behind Adama gave you a little different perspective going into the tournament now with more of a larger role expected from you. How much did that experience prep you for this season? And Tristen, can you follow up on what you've seen from him and how last year has helped him out?
Yeah, Adama prepared me for everything, the way that, we battled against each other every day in practice, and, how hard he plays, and, just watching him on the floor and seeing the role that I had to, step into when, he came off the floor. Just playing behind him and seeing how dominant he was and everything that worked for him definitely helped me, coming into this tournament, just realizing that, Dama was very dominant last year and led us, throughout the tournament. So, I'm just trying to carry on that role of being as dominant as I can, as impactful as I can, and, just trying to help my team win.
Tristen?
Donovan has grown in so many aspects of the game. He's a great leader for us, and he dominates the paint, plays great defense. So, the role that Adama had last year really helped him out, and he stepped up big this year, and that's what we need from him throughout the whole tournament.
Any other questions for the student athletes? We'll go here. We'll go row three on the end, and then we'll go to Zach on row three.
For both the players, does it feel different taking the court as the defending champions this year as opposed to last year?
Let's start with Tristen, and then we'll go to Donovan.
I wouldn't say so. Last year, we go into every game expecting to win. So I don't think coming from last year, winning the whole thing it feels any different. It's a winner go home game every season. So to me personally, it feels the same.
Yeah, I felt like, we just attacked it like a regular game, just trying to go out there and beat our opponent. Obviously, we know what's on the line. It's win or go home. But, we really don't think about, just what happened last year. We're really just trying to, achieve a new goal this year with this team, and, really just trying to attack it one game at a time.
All right, we'll stay on this side in row three, and then we'll come down to row two. So if you can hand it back first, and then then we'll come to you next.
Zach Braziller, New York Post. For either of you guys, what has stood out to you about Castle, and just how, he's obviously a highly rated freshman, and just kind of how he's seamlessly fit with you guys this year?
Let's start with Donovan, and then we'll go to Tristen.
I feel like his toughness and, his willing to stop the other team's best player. He really just wants to guard at a high level. And, in the locker room today, he just came in at halftime and was like, I'm trying to hold this guy to zero. So really, he's just such a unique player in the way that he guards, how tall and strong he is. And, on the offensive end, he's, setting ball screens, coming off ball screens, getting to the rim, finishing strong. And, he's just an all-around team player. Offensive rebounding, just, you saw that dunk where he missed. He got his own rebound, put it back up. He's just willing to make, multiple efforts, and, he's a really big part to this team.
Tristen?
Yeah, I mean, like Donovan said, he goes out there and guards the best perimeter player every day, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that because he sacrificed the offense and, looking good for everybody else just to stop their best player. He's maximizing his role, and he's helping us a lot. So he's really improved throughout the season.
Last two for student athletes. First one here and then down there. Go ahead.
You guys had a pretty good game. Are there any areas that you want to work on before round two?
Start with Tristen.
Yeah, definitely. They shot 20 free throws. We have to guard without fouling, and the defense was spotty at times. I mean, not the defense. The rebounding was spotty at times. So I feel like those are the two areas that we need to work on the most.
Donovan.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just, rebounding the ball, going to Sunday playing the Big Ten team, rebounds the ball well. I just, me and everyone else just got to, really attack the ball with two hands, on the defensive end and, to be able to push in transition and, really like Tristen said, just, guard without fouling and, play smart.
All right, other side of the room here in the front row. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Bill Hathaway from Local Talk New York. This message for Tristen. Give me your feelings and your perspective about today's game.
We got out to a fast start like we wanted to. We played great three-point line defense. That's what the emphasis was going into the game, stopping them from the three-point line because they're a good three-point shooting team. And I feel like we moved the ball effectively and turned the ball over. More than we wanted to, but, I feel like it was a pretty good game, but we have areas to improve on.
All right, Tristen, Donovan, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys on Sunday. All right, we'll take questions for Coach Hurley. We'll start far side on the end, row 4. And then we'll come up to row 1 on that same side.
Hey, Dan, Ralph Russo from AP. It almost sounds a little cliche, that idea. If you let these underdogs hang in the game, they get confident. But it does sound like that may have been part of the messaging to the team, like emphasizing that kind of fast start.
Can we get Coach Hurley's microphone on, please? There we go.
On? All right. Yeah, I think that's what everybody wants to do in this tournament. It doesn't always work out like that. So that's not exactly like, high-level coaching. Everyone wants to start fast. But they just had our respect at a high level coming in. I respect the heck out of Donnie and his staff. And, they won at Central Florida this year. They played the 3 bye games. Obviously, the Houston opener, they got jumped. And then, but then they won at Central Florida, and they were right there versus Cincinnati on the road. So, this week we were, we were nervous about the matchup because of the shooting, and it wasn't just the backcourt, which is tremendous. They had shooting all over, and they had size at center. So I thought we had I thought they should have been a 15 seed for me. I thought they were the hardest 16, and as the overall number 1 seed, I was surprised that, in my opinion, that we got the best 16.
We'll stay on that same side in the first row. Go ahead.
Dave Borges, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Dan, was it good for you to see some zone there? And you saw some in the Big East, but not a whole lot. But and how do you feel like you did against it? Because I know there were 1 or 2 sequences where you didn't look too happy.
Yeah, I didn't. And they, they mixed them up, and that's what they do. Some 1-3-1, some 2-3, some 3-2, some switching 1 through 4, some switching 1 through 5, on ball, off ball. They did a lot of different things out there. Obviously, at halftime, with the 15 assists, 2 turnovers, we were shooting 70%. It was hard to be disappointed about a bunch of things there. But, second half, human nature kicked in a little bit. Obviously, we missed some really good opportunities and some good shots and weren't able to sustain, the level that we played at offensively in the first half. But, overall, there's so much pressure. We all felt a lot of pressure going into this game. It's hard not to, as great as you feel about your team, because, you just don't want to be the, that 1 seed that, especially with the, our last, the last year that we've had since this time last year.
Okay. Come to this side of the room on the aisle, row 2 with Adam.
Dan, did you or your team watched the Kentucky game. Did you talk to them about it at all? And, you know, as far as an upset, and what is the art to balancing, integrating talented freshmen with older players, which you've obviously done well and some other teams have struggled?
Yeah, I think you know, number one, you got to insulate, you know, big-time freshmen like, you know, Steph Castle, you know, around a core of returners to your program every year, and then supplement, you know, with the portal. So you can't miss on high school kids. You can't miss on player development. I think you got to do it in a strategic way. And then obviously Jalen Stewart, you know, is another freshman that, you know, right now is helping us as a freshman, but then has a chance to be a star as a sophomore. You know, so I just think there's a timing and a planning that comes that you know, the way that you construct and architect your roster, and it's got to be a mix of portal, you know, high school players insulated by also a core of returners to your program. And, you know, we know what this tournament's all about. I mean, we stay bulletproof by being elite on offense, elite on defense, a great rebounding team. And then obviously the preparation with Kamani Young with the scout today to do what we did defensively versus a very, very hard to guard top 100 offensive team. It was impressive.
Stay on this side in row 3 in the middle.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Dan, do you think you can win with, in this day and age, do you think teams can win with group of one and done freshmen, or do you think now you need that experience to win?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting now. I guess the G League Ignite. I guess that thing shut down. So, you know, maybe more. You know, more of those difference-making 5 stars. I think a lot of it depends on the mentality. I guess the culture of your program, the mentality of the kids, you know, that you recruit. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of pressure in these NCAA tournament games. It's unlike anything else in sports for these freshmen, man, to, you know, to go on the court and to be a 2 seed versus a 15 or a 3 versus a 14, and the arena turns on you as the higher seed, and now you're surrounded by just a bunch of other young, talented freshmen that have never swam in these shark-infested waters, man. That's where, you know, I think Steph Castle, and the way that we have our situation set up is he's got some men around him out there, and just a great mix of youth, experience, and a core of returners that understand the culture.
We'll do 2 more questions. We're going to go on this side, row 2. Raise your hand just real quick so Coach knows. Okay, go ahead. And then we'll come back here.
Hi, Dan. Connor Sargent, The Daily Campus. And I just had a quick question for you concerning when you come into this game, obviously it's do or die. But coming in, you were favored by 27.5 points, and you got up early. So my question is, what do you tell your team when you guys are up that big and it feels like the game's in control? What are you looking specifically from your team to do in that so-called garbage time?
Foot on gas, foot up.
We'll finish. Last question here. Last question here in the front row. Jaden?
Dan, you talked about needing a dominant performance from Donovan yesterday to win today. How much did you like what you saw from the big guy?
Donovan was awesome today. You know, you see he's just a game changer. What he creates for us on offense, you know, how he spooks people at the rim, the rebounding presence, you know, the fire and the life that he shows up with every day. And, you know, just to have the balance around him, to have 5 starters today, you know, 8 attempts, 11 attempts from 4 guys. You know, our All-American point guard only took 8 shots in this game. Obviously, the strength of this team is just the versatility of the 5 starters, and obviously, you know, 6 through 8 now on the bench has given us big-time stuff. But Donovan is, you know, he's the centerpiece.